Today we are back at the Eagle Ridge Outfitters to fish a section of water I have not explored. We are on their lower end. We're out here with that brand new Pfluger President XT, that Pfluger President reel. I've got a blue ice creek bug, one 64th ounce ball head jig. Let's stop by this hole right here and just make a couple casts. I don't see any fish right away, but we are exploring new water, so every beautiful pocket we see, we are going to fish. Stick with us today, and let's have some fun. What do we got here to start off our adventure? A beautiful wild rainbow. On the Creek Bugs Mini. What an absolutely gorgeous little fish. There we go. What a little beauty. We're going to catch some fish that could easily eat this one throughout the day at some point, I'm sure. But we'll take that for our very first fish of the day. Nothing like a beautiful wild fish in a mountain stream on the Creek Bugs Mini. Alright, we're going to hop on our four-wheeler. We're going to trudge our way on down in here. I would like to mention that there are some openings here on this creek this fall. So if you're seeing this video in the fall 2025, make sure you give Eagle Ridge Outfitters a call and try to get in here as soon as you can. Alright, let's slide on back in here. About as far as we can get. I want to experience this full section today, so we're heading in here, trudging across the rocks and mud. We're going to make our way all the way back before we start bombing out any casts. I'm not sure how much further past this the creek will extend. There's some trees right here, which will make it very challenging to land fish if we get a great big one. But that's okay. Something I'm willing to try. Never seen this section before. Very excited to try it. Fish on. All up in these tree limbs and brush. The likeliness of landing this fish is pretty slim. We may get lucky, but I highly doubt it. That's the risk of fishing around this kind of stuff. Alright, unfortunately the break-off did happen. I knew it would. There's really no way around it. Unfortunately, these limbs are going to give us issues. We're probably just going to go ahead and leave this spot. I don't know how much further down we can travel. On the opposite side over there, I see a posted sign. We do not want to trespass outside of our boundaries. I did not bring my waders, and you probably will need a good set of waders if you want to fish down past here. Unfortunately, like I said, I did not bring mine. So this is the boundary for me for today. I'm going to make a couple more casts. I think I'm going to actually cast away from these limbs because there's just no chance of landing a true giant fish around these limbs. Odds go way down. Oh my gosh. Somehow we hooked into a giant underneath this tree. We are probably never going to land this fish. I was trying to reel it up and get it out of there, and all of a sudden the giant's just on it. There's no chance we land this fish. Absolutely none. Not unless he just miraculously swims out. Nope, there's no chance we land this one. Oh, chances may have just came around. He did swim out. They're getting him up and over. It's very unlikely, but if he'll choose to swim upstream, we might get him. Nope, he's going down. Oh, here comes our chance. I'm not a fan of fishing around down trees, and I do not recommend it, especially with light line. I did not anticipate on getting this fish to bite, especially where it bit, but we actually landed this fish on the minis. A retie is coming. Adventuring new waters, you're going to find adversity. My first mistake was not bringing my waders. I knew when I left the house that I was forgetting something, and sure enough I was. But there you go. There's our first big fish of the day. We did have one break us off in that tree earlier. Very unfortunate. We're going to have to strip out a bunch of line and retie. That fish was up in that brush. I was trying to fish ahead of it. For whatever reason, as that float went by, that fish ate it. There we go. That was the mini. Our third bite of the morning on it. We're going to have to retie a big section of line. Once it gets in that tree, you do not want to make another cast until you strip out a big bunch of line and retie. So let's get that done. We'll bottom out a few more casts. We're going to continue to cast up away from this stuff in just hopes to get something to happen. If I was smart, I would have brought my waders, like I've mentioned, wade across the creek, stand up there, cast down and pull the fish away from this brush, but we put ourselves in a pickle. We're going to have to make the best of it. All right, it's time to make a move. I'm going to go back upstream to a couple of them spots I fished earlier. We might have to share the spots with the cows as they have came down, started to drink. I switched up baits multiple times, went back to that Creek Bugs mini. We're going to make our way up the creek and just see what else the day has to offer. It's always fun to explore new waters, even if they're not super productive. But that doesn't mean that your trip up here to Eagle Ridge Outfitters won't be incredibly productive right here in this spot, especially if you line your cast up in the right direction and get those fish out of that brush. You'd be in good shape. Fish on. There we go. It's been a while since our last bite. Popped on that natural brown creek bug. Drifted by this fish several times. It had a good reaction to the lure. Eventually decided to come on up and eat it. Oh no, the net is on the four-wheeler. There we go. Hopefully this fish will stay on and show it to you guys. Not a whole lot of bites on this lower end. Loads of fish. They are very, very keen on their environment. They see me. They know right away something's up. Then it gets very, very challenging to get that bite. But there we go. It's another beautiful fish. I'm going to let him swim out of the net. He fought super hard. Take off, buddy. That was the natural brown creek bug. Several casts. We got him to bite. We're almost down into the more familiar waters. We're going to fish them super hard, as I know exactly where the fish lay in them. There's really no learning there. Hopefully just some catching for you guys. But there we go. Let's keep it going. All right, everyone. Let's move on down. You can bring your ATVs and side-by-sides here at the Eagle Ridge Outfitters to get around. It makes it very nice for those who are handicapped, or in my situation, that's going way down to the lower section. And what I've noticed is the fish aren't very shy of the four-wheelers. You can pull up right along the creek, and those fish will not budge. They will let you sit there and look at them, which is very nifty. We're going to see if we can prove our point right here by catching one of these fish without them even realizing we are here. They must think that we're a cow, would be my only guess. Got him. Just like that. And it's a giant too, everyone. Off the four-wheeler. Using the four-wheeler to catch trout. How cool is that? This is a whopper, everyone. Yes, it is. That was so awesome. Hopefully he stays on. I did not get the greatest hook set on him at all. Hopefully it was good enough though. This is a whopper off the four-wheeler. Looks like we may get our chance right here. Land this fish. Yep, we got him. Big old fish too. Absolute stud of a Virginia rainbow trout. There we go, barely hooked. Look at the colors on that fish, everyone. Wow, flawless. I'm gonna let her go. She fought hard. Off the back of the four-wheeler. You cannot beat that. We're actually in position right here. I see another fish. We'll check our line and try to catch it as well. Put on a chartreuse head so that way I can actually see the bait. With this wind, I've been struggling to know roughly where my bait is at. Trying something a little different here with that chartreuse head. Natural brown body, mini. Just like that, I was able to see that bite. There we go, that was super cool. That was incredibly cool, everyone. And it's another whopper. Got him in the net. Creek bugs, mini. This fish has done knocked a hole in the side of our net. Our old net has been through some stuff. Seen better days for sure. There we go. Like I said, I tried something different. I put on a chartreuse painted head. You guys can paint these jig heads that we sell super easy with some powder paint. I put on the natural. So I thought those two would mesh together well. And I was right. That fish absolutely smoked it. And I was able to see the bite against the ripples of the wind. We'll take it. Heck yes. Oh, he swam straight to it and then swam away. Oh, I don't know what gave that away. Got him. That was super cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. So enjoyable to watch those fish do that. Find a place to land him. We threw all kinds of lures today. Different sizes, shapes, colors, techniques, and patterns. We ended up exploring new water, using the four-wheeler to catch a fish, and all in all had an awesome fall day of fishing. If we can get this fish in the net, that would just be the icing on the cake, but if not, we're still going to end it right here, as my time has expired for my trip. I've had an absolute blast here at the Eagle Ridge Outfitters. And once again, if you would like to come here, I'll leave that information down there in the description. Be sure to give them a call and ask them about opportunities to come here and fish. They may have something lined up for you in the very near future. What a beauty. This is by far the hardest fighting fish of the entire day. Right here. Creek bug minis doing what they do best. I worked on this product for so long for you guys. Dialing it in, multiple different mold copies and cuts. until we landed on the perfect size, the perfect appendages, the perfect everything to make sure you guys got the best quality product that we could offer. All right, this might be a little difficult to land this big girl. I'm gonna try to slide her into the net right here. And there we go. We got her. Hard fighting fish here at the Eagle Ridge Outfitters on the NRV Baits, Creek Bugs, Minis. NRVBaits.com is where you can find those. What a gorgeous fish. To end out our adventure, we're gonna let him go. All right, there our fish goes. Again, NRVBaits.com. Check out Eagle Ridge Outfitters, and we'll see you on the next one.